Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Grow Show. My name is Mark. I'm your host. And today I'm speaking with Bob Ray at North Indy Fence, Deck, and Rail in Noblesville, Indiana. Bob, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. Excited.
Yeah, so man, you guys are a leader in your space. We've taken a look. You guys have got a beautiful website and in a short period of time have really become a major company in your space. Maybe you could just tell me a little bit about the history of how you guys got started and where you're at today.
Yeah, sure. I think my story is maybe a little different than some, but I actually was a co-owner of a family business that did office supplies, copiers, furniture, totally different industry. I was there for 16 years, went through COVID with all the PPE and all that stuff. Ended up selling that. I was the president, majority owner. Ended up selling that to my brother at the end of 21. And, I was unemployed for a few weeks and was like, well, I need to get another job. So actually, one of my old customers was a business brokerage firm. I got an email from them one day about businesses they had for sale. I ended up inquiring about a different one, and he said, hey, you should look at this fence company. So I started looking at the fence company. They'd been around for 10 years. Husband and wife had done a really good job setting themselves apart on a couple of things in the market, but they were looking to retire. And so I ended up making a deal with them, bought the building and the land here in Noblesville, and took over January of 22, and been running it ever since.
Man, that's amazing. So I'm always intrigued by companies, or by entrepreneurs that purchase other companies, and especially with your background in the sort of office supply business. I mean, you've been doing that for a long time. You had a lot of experience in business. What type of criteria did you look at to kind of analyze the business and decide this is a good business for me to actually buy instead of just starting your own, for instance?
Yeah, for sure. And a big hesitation of mine was that I haven't been in this industry. I've never been a contractor. I've hired them for work here and there, but a big part of it was, after being sort of my own boss for so long, talking with friends and family, it was like, do you really think you can go work for somebody else at this point? Like, I don't know if I could. I'm much better at giving orders than taking them, it seems. So I ended up finding this business, and it was like, while I don't know the industry in particular, I know sales, I know running a company, and being that I was buying the land and the building with it, it was like, well, I'm getting an asset. We were always renting in my other business, and I always looked at that as throwing money away. And I was like, well, if I can own the property and have control of that, then even if I screw everything up with the fence business, I have an asset that should hopefully still be worth, more over time and cover me that way. So, I was looking for something that I could afford with what I had and was, small enough that I could manage and learn and then grow it. And so when I bought the business, like I said, they've been around 10 years. I got 30 days with the previous owners, and 10 of that was spent working the Indianapolis home show that they had already signed up to be in. So kind of a crash course, got into it that way, started talking to customers right away before I knew the difference between a picket and a rail, a fence, basically. Didn't know anything. I didn't know, and my dad was never really handy either. So I didn't know the difference between a impact and a drill. So I was really coming into this cold, but jumped right in. And the other part of it was, we do essentially fencing, railing, and driveway gates and some deck resurfacing. So it's like we got 3 or 4 things, and probably 2 or 3 of those we do a lot of. So I knew I didn't have to worry about learning 10,000 different things. I needed to get my hands on kind of the bread and butter. And then as I've gone, we've kind of expanded into some other things, changed how we do some things, and made the most of it.
That's amazing. So Bob, how many people do you have on your team? Probably ranges up and down, but what's kind of the average?
Yeah, average is probably in the 8 to 10 point. I think we've got 9 right now. I'm looking for a few more to bring on going into this busy season. January, yeah, our winters are always slower, like for a lot of contractors, but ramping it back up, getting real busy already, and working on a lot of these relationships that I've made with general contractors and landscapers, as well as all our residential business, and trying to keep the amount of guys on the team appropriate for the work we've got.
Uh-huh. Amazing. And so, I mean, you guys have got a ton of like 5-star reviews. I haven't looked at the reviews any more than just kind of the really positive things people say about you. But as far as the dates and things that go back, does that go back pre-purchase before you bought the business, or has that all happened in the last 5 or 6 years?
Some of those do. We got another one this morning from a customer, which is great. But again, my previous business, my old company was all business to business sales. So I was calling on companies. We didn't, I don't even know if we had a Google profile. We never worried about reviews. I never thought about it. So when I bought the company, I want to say they had maybe 50 or 60 reviews. Um,
Uh-huh.
and then in maybe that first year, we got a couple bad ones. And then I was like, oh, wait, I need to pay more attention to this. So I ended up offering a bonus. So I spiffed my guys on 5-star reviews, which, hiring laborers and crew leads and foremen, you got to find what's going to motivate them a lot of times. And when I said, look, I'll give you a bonus for every 5-star. If they get a 4-star, it doesn't count. We got to get 5-star reviews. They took a hold of that, and they have made that a priority of theirs as well. A few of them they saved a link on their personal phone, and they'll text it to the customer when they're done, and they'll tell them, hey, if you can give us a good review, it really helps out. And that's definitely driven those numbers up. And I think it helps show people the good work that we do, because there's a lot of folks that have a great experience and either they don't have a Gmail or they don't take the time, which is totally understandable. But for those that do, we certainly appreciate it. And we love giving potential new customers an idea of what it's like to deal with us and what they can expect and what others have, seen when they work with us.
That is amazing. Taking notes here. So, Bob, I mean, do you guys inevitably grow a lot of the business from word of mouth? Do you
Mhm.
guys also invest in any, kind of marketing? I mean, are there other ways that you guys drive kind of business to North Indy?
Yeah, I mean, again, the sort of that idea of buying a company or starting one by buying this, and in this business, once I put a fence in for somebody, they typically don't really call us anymore, but that word of mouth definitely helps. And I spend a little bit on Google Ads every month, but then primarily I'm working on relationships with, like I said, either like homeowner, like the companies that manage homeowners associations, landscapers that are doing large projects that might include fencing, and we come in and work with them on that. And then a number of GCs around the area that they're building, whether it's a daycare or a dog park or apartment complex, or a Starbucks or something like that. We come in, we do the railing, we do the fencing. So those have definitely helped. We're still primarily probably 70, 80% residential. So that does really well. And those are good because you typically are getting that payment same day or, within a few days of finishing it. Whereas the larger commercial jobs, the money can be good. But I just found out this morning a check is ready for a job we finished 6 weeks ago. So those cash flow
Fantastic.
things and working on that can be something to consider as well.
Wow.
I also
Interesting.
do some, I've been fortunate enough to do some sponsorships of things with like our fire department in the town I live in, some different golf outing type of things, just different things where the money's not huge, but I can spend whatever and sponsor something for an event that also has a lot of folks that are in the area where we want to do work. And that I think helps as well.
Man, I love it. Regarding the homeowners associations, landscapers, and kind of general contractors you work with, kind of developing those relationships. I mean, what a just fantastic idea. And I mean, everything you're saying here is just spot on with what we talk with contractors about. I love it. How do you develop those relationships? I mean, you seek those guys out, take them out to lunch. I mean, what happens here to kind of create those relationships that are sort of upstream of the services that you guys offer?
Yeah, a lot of that. I mean, a number of them have actually been from like the home show, and we have the flower and patio show at the fairgrounds coming up in the end of next week, and that runs for 9 days or so. And when I'm at these shows, a lot of times it's very slow. There's not a lot of customers walking around. So I go and I meet landscapers, I meet concrete companies. To the railing we do, a lot of concrete companies are putting in new ramps or steps, and they need those railings put in. And I'm just trying to make as many contacts as I can. And usually with some of these guys, if they throw you one job and you can do a decent, job of it, they keep your information and they can reach out to you on further opportunities. Some of the HOAs, my neighborhood is managed by an HOA, like a management company, and we would get calls randomly. They have all kinds of the problem with those is the points of contact are endless. There's 20, 30 people that are doing different neighborhoods all around town. So, but again, once you get in there, and the key is to do a good job, show that you're reliable, show you're doing quality work, and they keep sending me opportunities. A few custom home builders in the area, same kind of thing. We did one or two for somebody, and then kind of anytime they're doing a new build and they need a fence, they send me the specs or railing. I won't say we get 100% of those jobs because I don't know, but we do a good amount of work for a few of them that know that my price is going to be good and the material is great, and we'll get it done for them.
Wow. So you guys are in Noblesville. I mean, this is sort of 20, 25 minutes northeast of Indy. Indianapolis being the huge, city in Indiana, but Noblesville being a kind of a smaller town outside of Indiana. I mean, what is your geographic range? Do you guys go down into Indy, or is a lot of the work that you do right around Noblesville?
Yeah, I mean, my rule of thumb is trying to stay within about an hour. So that'll cover down fully into Indianapolis, even a little south side of Indy. Noblesville is in Hamilton County. That includes areas like Carmel, Fishers, Westfield, Zionsville, which median or average household incomes in Hamilton County are a little higher than other areas. So those are customers we're looking for too. So we do a lot of work within probably 20, 30 minutes of the shop, but definitely get way over towards the airport. And it all depends on what the work is and if someone wants us to come do it for them.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Are there some specific types of jobs that you guys kind of more prioritize for? I mean, you guys do, 6, 8, 10 sort of different nameable services. I'm always curious with contractors, oftentimes there's one or two types of jobs that if those come in, those are something to kind of jump right on and really put some extra focus in. Do you see that, or is it kind of evenly spread across all the services that you guys offer?
Yeah, I mean, dollar-wise, fencing in general is our number one thing that we do. We do a lot of the ornamental aluminum fencing, and I think a lot of that is primarily driven by a lot of HOAs. That's either one of or the only style of fence that they allow. And also on this north side, whether it's in Noblesville or Fishers or wherever, there's a lot of new neighborhoods going in. So we get a lot of work at new builds. And then a decent amount of work of just old fences that need removed, but trying to focus on what is our bread and butter again. So it's like we may get a call every once in a while for someone who needs 10,000 feet of horse fence. And like, while we could do it, we're not exactly set up to be the most efficient on that. And I let them know. And it's like, I can recommend a few folks who do that kind of thing, or even on the deck side of things, we don't do full builds from scratch. We will do resurfacing, we will do the railing. And the sales guy in me it's taken me this 5 years to kind of learn more of, I don't want to lose any job. If someone calls me, I want to sell them, but there are certain opportunities where either I know we won't truly be the best fit, or we don't get into that because of different permitting or whatever. And so trying to be upfront with the customers as well, saying, look, these are the things we're excellent at. These are things we can do, or these are things I don't really want to get into. And I think you'd be better off with somebody else.
Man, that is awesome. So let me ask you, just kind of going back to this part about kind of spiffing your guys to bring in reviews. I mean, obviously they're honest reviews. You're saying just ask the customer, I mean, it's ask the customer to give you an honest review. But I mean, that's an amazing strategy. And I'm curious, I mean, what is your instruction to them? We're always trying to get our, clients and folks we work with to get more reviews. And it sounds like a pretty simple strategy, but I mean, could you go a little bit more into that, like how that works? Um, get to the end of the
Yeah,
job
for
and
sure.
send a text.
And so what we've been doing, and we're changing a little this year, is the crew would arrive and they would introduce themselves. Then they would do the layout, like for a fence, and then get the homeowner to sign off on that before putting anything in the ground. And then we would talk, and I would stress, that interaction needs to be professional. Always act like they're in the window watching you, while you're working, because they probably are for at least part of the job. And just make sure that they're happy, because if we can get a 5-star, there's a little extra in it for you. But that is the big thing is whenever I bring it up to customers, it's like, if we've earned it. Like, obviously I'm not paying customers for anything. They don't get any discounts on their invoices, but if we've earned it and you think it would be beneficial for other people to know what we've done for you, we would love for you to leave us a 5-star review. And like I said, the guys, and I've got a couple systems that will ping the customer when we're done as well. So when the job is closed, they'll get a text asking for a review. And then some of the guys they put it on their own phone. They're like, can I text you a link and you can leave us a review? And that helps out. So I know that we've done really well on it. I want to pump the numbers up, keep moving that forward. But again, that little bonus for the guys has been something that they have actually sort of taken ownership of themselves. And with different levels of employees, sometimes it's hard to find, like, what do they even care about? They want their hourly wage. Do they want paid time off? Like, what's going to make them happy? And this opportunity for a bonus, and if I've got it, I'll give it to them, in cash, or, we'll add it to their checks, whatever we can do. They've latched onto, and it makes a difference in getting those numbers.
Wow. I love it. So, if you're listening to this interview, there's just all kinds of gems in here. And I just want to kind of go over a few of these. I mean, first of all, Bob comes from an entrepreneurial background. He's running family business for a long time. And that's always really interesting to me when someone has come from a different career and decided intentionally to get into the construction trades. He bought a business, right? The numbers had to look good. He bought an asset when he did that. Incredible. He's, kind of creating these relationships with homeowners, HOA kind of managers, landscapers, GCs. I mean, there's just all kinds of great stuff in here. And this piece about the reviews. And so when Bob bought the business, there was, 50 reviews or so. Now there's almost 250. That's been about 4 or 5 years. So him and the team are picking up, 30, 40, 50 reviews a year. Right. I mean, we talk with so many builders that have been in business for, 20 years. They've got, 19 reviews, and your customers are definitely going to be going and looking at your Google business profile, even if it's a referral. They're going to look at your website. The website Bob has is beautiful. We always took a look at websites, see if there's any way we could help. I mean, it's perfect, really, at, northindyfence.com. I would love for you to go take a look at that, because it's a great example of just, having everything right and really showcasing the team's work. Beautiful colors, on brand, fast loading. It's fantastic. Well, very good, Bob. It's great hearing all of the different techniques and sort of different ways that you run the business to run it really well. It's just a great story. If folks are in the, Noblesville area, if they're in Indy, and they're looking for a great fence builder, deck builder, what are a couple of good ways to get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, definitely. On our website, there's a form you can fill out. Give us your contact info. We'll reach out. A lot of times I'm able to give folks even preliminary estimates with a map view, or if they can send their survey, get them an idea of what they may be looking at price-wise for a project. We also have an instant quote tool on the website where homeowners can plug in their own address, draw up where they want the fence, and then select their material and get a price range of what they may be looking at. But always, we're always available, and as a entrepreneur, contractor, it's 24 hours a day sometimes. So give us a call, shoot us an email. We'd love to help.
Fantastic. Yeah. And if you're a homeowner looking for a great company to work with, just go take a look at their site, northindyfence.com. Get in touch with those guys, instant quote, and just a lot of great information here. Bob, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It was really great to hear your story, and I wish you the best here in 2026.
Hey, thank you so much. You guys too. Appreciate it.